I was sitting in this coffee house, and this old man at the table next to me struck up a conversation. He said you had an amazing story.
Let's see then, where to begin?
I was born and raised in one of the most beautiful places on earth. It was a time filled with wonder that I'll always remember. But when my family chose to move our zoo halfway around the world, that is when my greatest journey began.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Zawawi ROSDIN from Islamic Education Diploma, and now I will tell a summary of this video. Life of Pi is a movie about an Indian teenager who is trapped on a lifeboat with a beagle tiger. Be seen more later. Pi Peter grows and in Pondicherry as the son of a zookeeper practicing Hinduism, Christianity and Islam. Pi's father sells the zoo and the family go on board on a sea voyage to Canada along with a selection of animals. Pi survives in the lifeboat for 7 days by master the tiger and overcoming hunger, thirst, hurt and loneliness. Next, the moral values. This movie is never give up. Whether it is the Black Sea or the dark clouds or the threatening waves or the hungry predator as company, Pi never give up hope of survival. It had been told by Allah in the Holy Quran in Surah Yusuf chapter 12 verse 87. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wala ta'asu min zawjillah. The means, and never give up hope of Allah's soothing mercy. Similarly, for us, it is important to remember that darkest days are not going to last. It is important to not give up on your dreams and give up on life.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is MIRZA HANNAN bin Muhammad MAHADZIR. My matric card number is KID 2105044042. I am from class 1 semester 2 and from Islamic Education Diploma. Today, I will give a description about moral of value in the movie Life of Pi. Firstly, this story use the danger of a plan very important and it is not an option. For the example in the story, when P was thrown into the sea on the lifeboat with limited stock of resources after his ship capsized, he had to make a plan to survive the uncertain and indeterminate period in the harsh sea. Fortunately, he found a handbook to help him plan for the time on the lifeboat. If you are an entrepreneur, think of the handbook as your business plan. It is important to keep it handy and work according to the plan, and of course keep referring to it. When you are in doubt and monitor progress as you go along, probably the most important resource for an entrepreneur is money, and in the beginning when income is low and uncertain, an entrepreneur needs to make sure the money lasts till revenues kick in or next round of funding comes in the choppy waters of entrepreneurial journey. In life also, continuous planning for different stage of your life, and not only during the difficult day when resources are low, will help you live a good life. The next moral of value in the story is that we need to learn to live life with the enemy. In the movie Life of Pi, after the wall incident, P had to reconcile to the fact that he has to live with Mr. Parker on the lifeboat, an idea which he had been resisting so far. As a first step, he decided to start communicating with Mr. Parker and also set out making their territories and setting some rules. Having Mr. Parker on board also keep him alert at all times. When Mr. Parker jumped in the water of Pacific Ocean looking for fish, P had him to get on board and slowly he started developing and bond with him. Mr. Parker is both a co-founder and a competitor for P in his entrepreneurial journey. An entrepreneur needs to coexist with both. With co-founder, it is important to communicate clearly, define rules and responsibility, and ensure that you do not encroach upon each other's space. An entrepreneur needs to learn to coexist with competition in the market. Competition keeps him alert on his toes, and it is important to keep the competition healthy and not indulge in unethical, dirty tactics in the market. This may even mean occasionally help a competitor while freshly protecting your market share if it helps the overall market grow. According to this story, if we get along well with our own enemies, we can achieve mutual success. Finally, the moral of value in this movie that we should never give up. Because for example in this movie is Life of Pi is a story of perseverance and a story of not giving up. Even in the harshest of condition, P did not give up hope and he keep moving. Whether it is Black Sea or the dark clouds or the ominous wave or the hungry predator as company, P never gave up hope of survival. Similarly, for an entrepreneur, it is important to remember that the darkest days are not going to last. It is important not to give up on your dream and give up on life. So the day when you are down in a stage of despair and almost on the verge of giving up, you must remember that this that like everything as in life is only temporary and this too shall pass. There are times when it may seem like you have tried everything possible within your means and there is only a little more that you can do. However, it is important to remember that there are someone watching out for you and you are not hurt without a reason. There will be always some opportunity like the flying fish for food or rain, for drinking water, or the floating island for a bit of rest and respite, which will sustain you till you reach the shore of success. Provide do not give up. Because have historians said that who give up are weak people. That's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and have a nice day. Today I want to present the points of why the movie Life of Pi is inspiring, and I will provide 4 Islamic moral values that are related to the movie. The point is a freedom of practice. practice any religion. Everybody have a right to choose their own life, their own way, and to choose their own religion. But the only true religion is only one religion that called Islam. And another point is this movie teaching us how to be a good person, how to be good and not to be rude. And 4 Islamic moral values that are related to the movie. Number 1 is taqwa. This means fear of Allah. Only fear Allah. Number 2, tawakkal. That means tawakkal in any things we do, like a boy in the movie. Number 3 is as-sabr. That means be patient, like the boy. That's the boy in the movie. And number 4 is give charity, like the boy in the movie that give food to the animals. And I'm sorry for any mistake, and have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya ialah Kamarul bin Yusuf. Nombor matrik saya ialah KID 210504-086. Saya mengambil diploma pendidikan Islam. Hari ini saya ingin menceritakan tentang movie yang bertajuk Life of Pi. Life of Pi jelah jangan ada sifat takut dalam apa-apa jua keadaan yang datang, dan perlulah orang lain untuk membimbing kamu supaya selamat dari segala masalah. Selain itu, dalam apa jua keadaan, kita jangan pernah tinggal hubungan dengan sang pencipta, iaitu Allah, kerana akan membawa ketenangan yang bagus dalam diri kita. Dan juga jangan pernah lupa jasa orang yang telah memberikan kepada kita dari pelbagai aspek, contohnya nasihat. Seterusnya, kalau tidak berani, jangan membuat seseorang diri, kerana ianya akan mendatangkan bahaya dalam kehidupan kita. Okey, itu saja daripada saya. Sekian, terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad FAKRULRAZI bin MAHADZIR. I'm from Diploma Pendidikan Islam, Semester 1, Class 1. Okay, so finally I will share my inspiring Life of Pi story. So what the Life of Pi inspiring to me? So I finally got to watch Life of Pi last week, and to say I love it is an understatement. Life of Pi is a beautiful story, a visual adventure replete with rich fantasy and poignant moment. Suraj Sharma gave a fabulous performance as the young Pi, but most importantly, I was wonderstruck and hugely inspired by a very powerful theme in the movie. The ability to create a silver lining out of a cloud. The saying, every cloud has a silver lining, is well known, but no one knows if every cloud comes naturally with a silver lining, or if it only lies in the eyes of the beholder. The movie starts off with the young Pishkin coming up with an ingenious way to stop his classmates from calling him pissing. He rebranded himself as Pi. This watershed incident then goes on to set the narrative of the whole movie. The adult Pi introduced the character of the tiger. hyena, orangutan, and zebra in the lifeboat, replacing the more painful, tragic human character. In the process, he creates a better story for himself and for the viewer. I wonder if a pinch of pie in all of us would make life and living more worth life. Living more worthwhile. The ability to use imagination, ingenuity, and fantasy to create a silver lining in the cloud of every adversity should surely make life more beautiful, and in the process create better stories and inspiring journeys in Islamic moral. So I let my friend to share a moral Islamic about a story life of Pi. So check it out. Thank you guys.
My name is Muhammad Faisal bin SAZALI, KID 21040437. We need to treat our animal friends better. We learn this in a number of ways, but most preferably by being stayed alone on a boat with a cat Parker, the tiger. Though they don't have a very kindly friendship, they rely on each other for several athletes. One key point with is mutual respect. More than 50 billion animals around the world will be killed for the food this year. Most of them will live in horrific conditions. When we begin to treat our animal friends with more respect, I God will see bigger chance in other areas of our life and as well. So as Muslim, we must love animals as Allah said, for whoever is merciful even to a sparrow, Allah will be merciful to him on the day of judgment. A good deed done to an animal is like a good deed done to a human being. Will an act of cruelty to an animal is as bad as cruelty to a human being. Thank you.